And really, you can like stay up there with COD, but I don't think you can take it down because is Activision the main company?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
Activision, then it's like,
Treyarch and
yeah,
Infinity
so
Ward.
Activision is
And
grandpa.
Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Now Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer
Sledgehammer.
is doing, it's like so think of Activision as the grandpa, then Treyarch and Infinity Ward are
Yeah,
the husband and wife.
they're
Then like
introducing.
Sledgehammer is like the child.
Oh, okay.
Because like think of it
But
like
did you
that.
know
Because
that Sledgehammer
Sledgehammer
is
is
making? They're
Sledgehammer.
making
I understand.
most
All
of
right,
the
Colton.
multiplayer.
No, they're making all of the multiplayer.
I heard Infinity Ward was doing a little with it.
Anyways,
Anyway,
Colton Bread's
But-
not done.
because Activision has I guess now three companies working on this, they can put out a game every year consistently, which I think EA makes Battlefield.
Yes.
They can't do that. They have so many other titles that they have to keep producing. They can't put up.
Well, EA doesn't make anything. EA is essentially an Activision. It is just a company that like
It's
that
the paint company.
it makes it like gives loans to companies to make games. Then they get the most of the profits. Then the rest of the game then the rest of the profit goes to the game developers.
Okay, yeah. But Activision.
So DICE technically makes Battlefield.
So, but anyway, since Activision can just like only has to shell out these like two companies versus EA, who is shelling out to like every company ever, it seems like, because they just have so many EA games, they can't put out a title series year after year after year. It'll be like year, break, year.
Well, okay, are you done?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So going back to that, I'm gonna try to like branch off your main points. Anyways, I feel like COD. So using the history so far, I feel like COD has not like changed it exponentially. So it's like, how long can you play COD 4 for? Like, seriously. I know that it's like an awesome game, but
Can I interrupt you?
yes, go
Real
for
quick?
it.
You could play COD 4 forever.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I know people are still playing Counter-Strike and shit, but I know. Anyways, I don't want to really be interrupted, but just ask like Brent did. That was nice. Anyways, so, well, COD 4 is not a great example. Like, how long could you play Modern Warfare 2, or how long could you play Black Ops? Because the multiplayer, I know, even though they're changing like little tweaks and shit, like it's not changing like exponentially, like I'm saying before, and it's eventually gonna get boring because why don't we still play like games we had on like the original Xbox? Like, why don't we play games? I know that there's some exceptions, but for the most part, you know what I mean. It's a totally objective example, but anyways, I feel that eventually it may not be this one, even though I feel Battlefield 3 is going to be a strong game. Based on what I've seen, I've only seen one major flaw that they're going to make right out of the gate, and that's going to be having DLC available on the first day. Anyways, yeah, so even I feel that this year it's going to weaken the Activision shields, if you will, for like, because I feel Battlefield is going to sell like the shit out of it. They're releasing it like a month, like 3 weeks in front of it. So that's not. People are still gonna. People are still gonna like. They're still gonna buy COD this year. I guarantee it. Like, COD is gonna sell just as well as it has. I don't know if it'll sell any better, but it's gonna sell just as well as it will. And yeah, so this year it's going to weaken the shields, I feel, and it's going to open the door for a game like Homefront or the next Battlefield to be the king. This is just my opinion. And as Brent was saying, Activision has other games too. They're not as popular as other EA. Like, EA is like extremely popular, EA games are extremely popular compared to like Activision games, but Activision still has other projects that they work on. they kind of lost the Guitar Hero franchise, but that was huge for them for a long time. And anyways, I don't know.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Go for it.
Are they even gonna make another Guitar Hero?
No, they're done with them. They
God!
stopped. What?
I wanted to get one.
Dude, you can go buy an old one.
I don't want to. Are they still gonna make Rock Band?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Go get Rock Band 3 so I can play keyboard.
I'll do that or something.
Wait. Anyways, I'm talking. Anyways, so yeah, I feel like it's gonna open the door. So this year it's like it's gonna weaken the shields, like I'm using this analogy, and it's gonna open the door for any like good game, any solid game, to like come take it. Whether, because from like 2005 to like 2000, Modern Warfare 2, so 2009, is that right? 2009? Yeah, 2009. It was Xbox Live was dominated by Halo. So now we're seeing this COD franchise where it's going to dominate for a little bit. I don't think it's going to have as long a run as Halo, but just because they overkilled the series. So, they just got really greedy and they're milking it, and there's a new game coming out every year, even though it's kind of necessary because the games aren't strong enough to be able to hold out on themselves. That's kind of my opinion on that matter. What do you think, Colton?
Okay, so I have a lot of things to say, basically. I don't think Call of Duty can be beaten at this point, like Battlefield 3. I don't think it's going to get near as much as Modern Warfare 3 is gonna. And there's lots of reasons for one, and that's just the pace. Because, okay, just think of it this way. How much montages do you see of Battlefield right now compared to Call of Duty?
Okay, can I interrupt you, please?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a completely, terrible example, because we're saying the future, and you're making past references.
Well,
no,
so
you're comparing it to...
No, just listen out.
Okay.
Because Call of Duty, it's so simple. It's the basic team versus team, go shoot each other game. It's not as fancy as Battlefield, and that's the reason it's so good. It's just
Can I interject?
Yeah.
Okay. 90% at least, probably more than that, of all montages made of COD are quickscoping, which is an impossible task in Battlefield.
It's not impossible, it's just hard.
It is. I hit one quickscope. No, it was actually a no-scope. But it was from like a foot.
Okay. Well, yeah, that too. But as I was saying,
this is like comparing a shooting game to a racing game. Like, any examples like comparing the two are just not applicable. No,
I'm saying the Modern Warfare, Call of Duty itself is just so simple compared to Battlefield that it's just a better game. It's just not as fancy. It's just, if you want to hang out with your friends and go shoot people, you play Call of Duty. Most people, that's what they do. And it's fast-paced and small maps. It's fun. It's just better.
So based on that, that's all things that happened in the past. Keep in mind that the Battlefield franchise...
No, because Call of Duty, they're not going to... I know, I'm sorry, they're not... Battlefield is not going to change their whole thing to small maps and fast-paced and 4-shot kills.
Dude,
they're not going to do it.
We have no idea what they're doing with it. We've heard that they've been putting it on an entirely new engine, which COD has yet to do. So, anything can happen. Do you know what happens when a game migrates to a new engine? Crazy shit happens.
Yeah, it's just... They wouldn't change it. They just wouldn't change it that much. It's too big of a game to change that much. And I think most of the people that will be listening to this will agree that Call of Duty won't be beaten, just based off our fan base. They're all Call of Duty players.
Well, so am I. I play Call of Duty all the time, and I'm not trying to be biased. That's one thing I hate about COD players is a lot of time they're biased. I'm not saying that any of us are, but a lot of them are. Like COD players that have never played Halo are like, "Oh, Halo sucks," based on what? Have you ever played the game? And a lot of them are like, "No," they're just that loyal to COD.
Me and you were just like that, Colton.
But I've played Halo. I've played Battlefield.
No, but like in like 7th grade, 6th grade.
Yeah, that's true.
We had no idea. We were like, "Fuck Halo, dude. That shit's ridiculous."
Back in 7th grade, I still thought Medal of Honor was the best game ever.
That is European Assault and Pacific. Rising Sun.
Rising Sun and Frontline, best games ever.
I liked European Assault more
Nah.
because I finally beat Colton on the PS2.
Back in the day, but it's Call of Duty. It can't. I just don't think it'll be beaten. It's Battlefield is just not big enough title to outsell it, and yeah. And you don't see that much kids like 4-year-olds like, oh, I want Battlefield. They're like, oh, I want COD.
But okay, so this argument is in the future. Like, we don't. Okay, based on your opinion, you're thinking that Battlefield is not changing exponentially. You're thinking it's still going to be. You're still thinking it's going to be huge ass maps in which you move from quadrant to quadrant.
Yeah, that's basically what it should. Like, I'd be kind of disappointed if they changed it exactly like Call of Duty. Wouldn't you?
Call of Duty is like Halo. Like, it's
How is it like Halo?
What?
No, if you're talking about it like that, where anything that plays on small maps and is very fast,
Okay.
So if
That
you're
makes sense now.
if you're comparing it to like that, then Call of Duty is like Halo. Counter-Strike is like Call of Duty. It's like, well, you can't compare it that way because it's just too broad a spectrum.
Okay, I only think the Battlefield will beat Call of Duty if it. Okay, so Counter-Strike, basically Call of Duty, right? And then Call of Duty came out, and it's obviously sold more and more people play it. Unless they like Battlefield makes it like Call of Duty, just like better. Like, it's kind of hard to explain what I'm thinking. Then that's the only way I'll beat it.
So yeah, I feel that DICE knows that. Okay, I know that there's huge Halo maps and shit, but I think DICE feels that, like, I could be wrong. They could just have like Battlefield Bad Company 2.5. Seriously, that could be what Battlefield 3 is. But anyways, if they are going to change it, I think they are smart enough to know that people want fast-paced action. People want like 2 to 5 shot kills all the time. People want, fast-paced action. Now, COD and Halo made that popular. Now, that's not Call of Duty-izing a game, as a lot of people like to say, but the only reason people would make that example is because Call of Duty is so popular. If people really took time and thought about it, it'd be comparing it to like Counter-Strike. Seriously.
Okay.
So,
I just want to say this. Can you honestly imagine YouTube filled with everybody like Hutch and all the like famous commentators, all Battlefield? Can you imagine it as much Battlefield as it is Call of Duty?
No, you
right
can't.
Now?
You can't say that because.
Can you imagine clans and all that type of stuff that's in Call of Duty right now? No, you can't.
You can't imagine that because you're comparing that to the past. Because like, you're comparing Battlefield to what you view it today. Like, you don't know what Battlefield is. It's like a mystery box.
It's not gonna be what you think it is. I know it's not. It's just not gonna.
Well, what you know and what you believe are two different things.
Can you name right now one huge like title like DICE and like Infinity Ward or like Activision that honestly changes a game that much?
Dude, a lot of games change. Yeah, a lot of games change exponentially. Like,
how did Left 4 Dead change at all?
World of Warcraft since 2004 has changed. Like, it's not even the same game. And that's a legitimate example of how like one company changing their same game over years.
Minecraft?
Yeah, that shit's changing. Like, it used to
and
be.
You're naming computer games, not console.
That doesn't matter. That's still.
It does matter. No, more people play console than they do computer.
No, wrong, sir. Wrong. There's 10 million people on COD Black Ops for PC right now. Anyways. Yeah, so I don't feel like that was a great, like, I'm not trying to poke you out, but like all your examples, like, what do you imagine YouTube would be? Like,